Canelo, there's a lot of articles and social media news floating around saying that you could potentially be negotiating with Terence Crawford directly for a May fight. Any truth to that?
No, I'm working in other things. Now I'm enjoying my family. I'm not talking about boxing yet. So maybe in January we wanna start doing that.
Where do things stand with Turkey? Turkey said he would like to open a line of communication with you. No middleman, just you and him.
I never say no to business. So if it is a business for me, I'm open to talk, no matter what.
Anything else for Chula Vista?
No, thank you everybody from Chula Vista. Thank you for your support.
The likelihood of a fight with you and Terence Crawford, it would be one of the biggest in boxing.
We're not talking about yet about the fight. Me and Turkana know each other, and then we wanna see what happens.
And when do you want to get out next? I know you're here in London tonight. When are you going to be in a camp?
Huh?
When are you going to be in a camp? I know you're
in camp, training camp in March.
Okay, so
at the beginning of the middle of the February or March, yeah.
In a blockbuster showdown set to shake the boxing world, Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford have officially signed to clash in a super middleweight mega fight on September 2025 at Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas. This highly anticipated bout has sent shockwaves through the fight community, promising pay-per-view fireworks between two of boxing's most elite and decorated champions.
What's up, fight fans? Some breaking news. This guy, Julius Julianis, who's an ESPN Knockouts reporter, is reporting that the fight isn't only about to be announced, but the contracts are signed between none other than Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford. In Julianis' report, he claims that this fight has been signed, sealed, delivered, and it's going down this September in Las Vegas. We know Canelo was in London for the Ring Magazine Awards with Turki Al-Sheikh, seemingly shaking hands as business partners. And just today, as a few hours ago, Bud Crawford landed in London and was seen with Turki Al-Sheikh this September. It's official. What are your thoughts? This headline is all the details the Ring Magazine put out about 2 hours ago. Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford, the fight is off. Guys, are they just messing with us for real? Because this is 48 hours removed from them reporting the location. First ever stadium fight, Allegiant Stadium. Even though the fight was 7 months away in September, this in everybody's eyes was going on. And then all of a sudden, the Ring Magazine, Turki Al-Sheikh, releases this with no other details. Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford in September is off.
The long-awaited super fight was officially signed in January 2025, setting up a historic showdown that boxing fans can't afford to miss. Canelo Alvarez, the undisputed super middleweight champion, boasts an astonishing record of 62 wins, just 2 losses, and 2 draws, securing 39 knockouts along the way. Meanwhile, Terence "Bud" Crawford, the undefeated welterweight king with 41 wins and 31 knockouts, is making a bold leap to the super middleweight division. This mega fight will define legacies and break pay-per-view records worldwide.
All right, let's talk Canelo Crawford, Jake Paul again. Let's try and give a timeline of events. So on Tuesday, Ring Magazine confirmed that Canelo Crawford was on for September 13th, Raiders Stadium. That's what we got on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we started hearing whispers of Jake Paul. It sounded crazy at the time. I did a video on it. I said that's impossible. But then those whispers became louder and louder and louder. On Thursday, Ring Magazine reported that Canelo Crawford was off. Thursday evening, so just after me and G-Man had filmed, we got reports that Jake Paul versus Canelo, or Canelo versus Jake Paul, was very much a real thing and was close to being signed off, and that would have happened on Netflix. About 2 hours later, we got confirmation that Canelo versus Jake Paul is now not a thing and is off, and that Canelo has signed a 4-fight deal with Riyadh Season, and Turkey went on social media talking about he's the lion and don't mess with the lion and things like that, which I thought was quite funny. Canelo versus Crawford is now back on, and that will happen in September. Canelo versus Jake Paul is now off and won't happen for at least another couple of years. Yeah, I think that's where we are.
Jake Paul has taken a bold swing at Canelo Alvarez, slamming his 4-fight deal with Riyadh Season. Paul claims this move wasn't about competition, but about chasing massive paychecks, accusing Canelo of dodging real threats like Terence Crawford. He argues that Alvarez is now controlled by Saudi money, prioritizing financial gains over legacy-defining fights, raising questions about whether boxing's biggest stars are selling out for cash.
Oh, Canelo, you puta.
And this fucking YouTuber, I just fight real fighters.
Time to expose him. So we had a signed contract to fight. Here you can see Canelo's signature and my signature to the right. Claiming he's not fighting YouTubers. Bullshit. Look at the poster. We were announcing Tuesday, February 11th. Claiming he fights real fighters, but he's fighting Crawford, a 135-pound fighter, and running from a real fighter like David Benavidez, you bitch. The truth is you can be bought. You're a money-hungry squirrel chasing your next nut. The truth is these sports-washing shady characters are paying you hundreds of millions of dollars to stop our fight from happening because they couldn't fathom the fact that they can't create a bigger fight than me and you. Al Heyman has made you hundreds of millions of dollars and you turned your back on him for this check. Disloyal. And you were begging to do this fight on pay-per-view. But I have loyalty. Loyalty to Netflix, doing the biggest numbers. And you call me a YouTuber, but you've never had a boxing match as big as mine. Remember you told my team that your daughter came home and asked if you were fighting Jake Paul? She was all excited. You said that was the first time your daughter's ever asked you about a fight. And you're screwing over all your Mexican fans by doing your fights in Saudi. It just shows what type of person you are. And I promise you one thing, Canelo. Any fight that you do this year, mine will be bigger. So go fuck off to your boss, you Ring Magazine employee, you pink and orange bitch. And oh, fix that herpes on your lip, you dirty puta.
At a heated live press conference, Canelo Alvarez sent a powerful message to Terence Crawford, making it clear who dominates the super middleweight division. With unwavering confidence, Alvarez declared, "This is my territory." While he acknowledged Crawford's greatness, he warned that stepping into this division is a whole new battle. Alvarez's legacy, pay-per-view dominance, and championship mindset prove why he remains the undisputed king of boxing.
How is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
Yeah, I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement. If you're Terence Crawford in that fight, the last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course, that's the way to beat him.
Yeah.
You know.
Canelo Alvarez, a powerhouse with unmatched tactical versatility, is a pay-per-view superstar and one of boxing's highest-paid athletes. Terence Crawford, a 4-division world champion, showcases elite speed, precision, and adaptability. This mega fight, packed with drama and high-stakes action, has fans and sports books buzzing, making it one of the most lucrative boxing events.
When Terence Crawford said that he moved up and won, and Canelo moved up and lost.
They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won.
I don't think that was a strong point because Canelo Alvarez actually moved up and won. I mean, he moved up a lot of weight classes, but if you want to talk about light heavyweight, he moved up and he beat Cobra. Then he moved up again and he lost to Bivol. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, he moves up to 154. He won 115, 113, but it was just an 11-0 Madrimov who didn't really have much of a resume, right? But there's a difference, to be real. I mean, Bivol is a Hall of Fame. Okay, this guy, all-time light heavyweight. It's a bit different. Canelo did knock out Kovalev when he did move up. Okay, and Kovalev is a bigger challenge at light heavyweight than Madrimov at 154 for Terence Crawford. Let's just keep it a big.
Canelo Alvarez is a boxing powerhouse, dominating the super middleweight division with an elite 62-2 record. His ability to move up weight classes while maintaining knockout power, agility, and championship experience makes him a nightmare for any opponent. Sean Porter has voiced concerns about Terence Crawford's durability against Canelo's devastating punching power. Given Canelo's reputation for brutal knockouts, Porter questions if Crawford can handle the high-stakes challenge of facing a naturally bigger, stronger fighter. With pay-per-view blockbuster appeal, this fight is set to attract sports bettors worldwide and spark intense debates among boxing analysts.
The others say, like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, you know. So I think, if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he's still got that kind of steam. But, you know, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo have, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another, you know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out, you know what I mean? So,
former 4-division world champion Mikey Garcia has weighed in on the highly anticipated Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford showdown, a fight set to shake up the super middleweight division. Garcia believes Canelo's size, power, and experience at 168 pounds will be key factors. While he acknowledges Crawford's elite skill set, he points out the major weight difference, emphasizing that Crawford, who recently moved up to 154 pounds, might struggle against Canelo's proven dominance in the higher weight class.
I'm not even a fan of that fight. They're too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. Now, Canelo is, you know, fighting at 168. Crawford just moved up to 154, and he had some trouble with that in that fight. Now, where do you plan on going? 164, 65, 66? Canelo ain't gonna come down to 160.
Yeah,
Canelo ain't gonna come down, you know, maybe 166 max if he accepts. I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size, you know, power and size. Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skilled fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding factor, and that's why I'm not even a fan of that fight. I think Crawford has accomplished everything he had to accomplish from 140, 147, now 154. That's even greater for him. He wants to do something, collect belts at 154, he can attempt that. But there's no money in that compared to the Canelo fight. And Canelo is trying to fight other guys, and you know, at that point it's more of a big fight, you know, for the money that's gonna generate. But as a fight fan, I'm not really a fan of that matchmaking. I'd rather see Canelo move up and fight somebody like Bitterbeef or Bivol again. If he wanted to challenge himself, move up to 175 again, and challenge himself against those guys. Not a smaller guy moving up.
Joel Diaz firmly believes in Canelo's ability to take on Crawford. While recognizing Crawford as the pound-for-pound king, Diaz highlights Madrimov's elite skill set and top-tier fight readiness.
A lot of people that say that Crawford can beat Canelo, no problem. I mean, I respect that, but I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. I mean, you saw Canelo Alvarez fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford moved from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov? Nothing. Okay, Madrimov was a 54-pounder. Now, to move up to 168, that's 2 more divisions. Canelo Alvarez will take any punch from Crawford, but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G, the heaviest hitter in that division. And Canelo took those shots like a champ. I don't think Crawford has anything to beat Canelo.
When you say, I want Canelo, is there anybody in the camp that would say, you're not ready for this?
That's a big boy. He's strong. That's a conversation. It's not just, oh, man, you will whoop his ass.
Like yes, man type stuff.
I'm not worried about Canelo. I'm not thinking about Canelo. I'm just focused on Israel Madrimov.
In a small way, is this a stepping stone to your dream fight?
I don't look at fights as stepping stones. It's about now.
Former world champion Demetrius Andrade thinks Terence Crawford is a top fighter, but Canelo Alvarez has the size and experience to win. Moving up 2 weight classes to 168 pounds, Crawford faces a tough challenge. He recently fought at 154 pounds, beating Israel Madrimov, but super middleweight is a different game. Canelo's power, strength, and agility could be too much. Fighters at 168 pounds are naturally bigger, making this a real test for Crawford.
Be great. That'll be 3 times. If you go 154 and win the belt, that's 3 times super. Then I said, chase super greatness. Come on, Canelo. 160.
Well, if he can get in there with Charlo in like his next 2 fights where he still got age on his side, then maybe go up again. Like if he's trying to chase the greatness, but I mean he already done something that's never been done. Charlo don't want none of that smoke.
Terence Crawford, I see he wants to fight. He's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better. No, Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He's a good fighter, but like I say, he's a weight classes for a reason. I'm focused 100% on Berlanga, and you never know what happened.
Yeah.
Crawford's slick speed and precision have dominated past fights, but facing a powerhouse like Canelo is a whole new challenge. Canelo's knockout power, iron chin, and championship experience could force Crawford to rethink his strategy. Jumping to super middleweight is a massive test he'll need to handle the weight, power, and pressure of a much stronger opponent. While his boxing IQ is elite, will his knockout power and durability hold up? That's the real question when stepping into the ring against one of boxing's biggest pay-per-view superstars.
Just a few weeks ago, you heard what Terence Bud Crawford had to say on why he wants to take on Saul Canelo Alvarez.
I just want the opportunity, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. He's the most accomplished fighter, and I would just like to, fight another great.
Which is a very noble reason. I mean, it's a reason that I can get behind. If you notice, his primary reason isn't money. He did say it'd be the biggest fight, which, you do want a big fight, but I don't think he meant monetarily, which the money comes, okay? But what he's saying is he want to test himself versus the best. And I think he's telling the truth here, right? Of course you want big money and stuff like that, but I think his swan song is just him test himself up against the very best. Those are the reasons the war room can get behind.
Robert Garcia predicts a Canelo Alvarez victory, believing Terence Crawford might take the fight for the huge payday, not to prove anything. Crawford has already secured his legacy and financial future. If the fight happens, Garcia expects Crawford to stay competitive for 6 to 8 rounds, using his elite skills, ring IQ, and power to win early exchanges. However, he sees Canelo's strength and experience taking over as the fight progresses.
Robert, what's a smart bet on Crawford-Canelo? Canelo by knockout or Canelo by decision?
Crawford by decision. And you have to bet?
Yes.
I say Canelo by decision. Crawford by decision. No, but you say Canelo by knockout or Canelo
Yeah, no, because I'm saying that's what's going to happen. Canelo's going to beat him. But which one?
I don't know, man. Crawford is fucking gangster. I've always been saying, I think Canelo at the end, obviously his strength, his weight,
experience
probably takes over. But shit, I wouldn't be surprised if Crawford just fucking boxes and fights smart and beats him.
He's probably going to be 40-1 underdog or something crazy like that, right? It's not going to be close.
No, it's going to be close.
3 weight class?
Maybe 3-4-1. No crees?
Nah.
It's not going to be that big of a difference. No.
When you pick the knockout? No, when you pick the knockout?
You pick a knockout. But if it's just...
who wins straight out?
I think it's going to be maybe 3-1, 4-1. Maybe that's too much. Maybe 2-1. Maybe 2-1.
I don't think so.
I'm telling you.
So they finally announced Ryu's fight Gary Russell. What do you think? Not easy fight? No easy fights in this level? It's going to be. Finally, you guys will be. The first time you're ever going to a Tank fight, right? To work a corner?
We're a corner at Tank's fight.
Is Tank's the main event?
Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford is a blockbuster showdown that could redefine boxing history. Alvarez's knockout power and championship experience will clash with Crawford's elite skills, speed, and undefeated legacy. Fans worldwide are eager to witness if Crawford's precision translates to a higher weight class and how Alvarez counters an opponent of Crawford's elite caliber.
He's going to be the greatest. You know what I'm saying? Floyd, it was Floyd, and then it's going to be Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what's on the line with that fight, right? Canelo and Terence is whose era is it? Yeah. Right?
Nah.
I think Canelo had his time.
Yeah, Canelo had his time. Yeah.
Just go submit our time.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
What made Bomac such a great trainer?
He can adapt to any style, bro. Like, he can adapt to any style. First of all, like DB3, we all got different styles. And he all been making this better in our own style. He got Troy Isley. Troy Isley is a different style. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, he got Avius Griffin. Avius Griffin is a different style. Of course, y'all know Jamel Herring and Terence Crawford. All different styles. And he make these fighters great. He can adapt to any style. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes him a great.
Do you think Canelo's explosive power and dominant size will be too much for Crawford in the later rounds? Or can Crawford's elite boxing IQ and strategic precision secure him the victory? Drop your thoughts below.